And welcome to this week's Commish Report with District 1 County Commissioner Katie Delaney. My name is Kevin Jeffrey, your moderator, and joined by the one and only Katie Delaney. And Katie, there's a county commission meeting coming up this week, and we have a lot of stuff on the agenda. Let's start with Speak Up Brevard. It's going to be back on the agenda. One of the things that you're hoping for is to codify the workshops in order to be able to have workshops, which like you had this year, where the people can come to the workshop and work together with the county commissioners on their ideas.
So, I hope that we'll get some support, because I think that the commissioners, the public, everyone really loved the workshop this past year. And I have to fix some misinformation. Commissioner Goodson unfortunately spoke about some wrong numbers, quoting $50,000 to $100,000 per workshop. And thankfully, he emailed all 5 commissioners through our attorney apologizing for getting that figure wrong.
So you were saying that's what it would cost?
Right.
Where would that cost come from?
I don't know. I think that he got it mixed up because I think the entire program itself costs about $50,000 to $100,000 in staff time. I have a hard time equating employees' time to actual dollars and cents, as far as, like, he's trying to say that it's not worth it to have a citizen program, something that solidifies citizens' input to our government.
But holding the public trust, right?
Right.
And that would actually enhance it, right?
Especially when the employees spend around 1,100 hours per year on this program, between studying and responding to the citizens. But compare that to our ELI program for our employees, which is our leadership program, and you're talking over 4,000 hours. So
this is nothing in comparison.
It's unfortunately for me, it's difficult, because I feel that this is just as important as growing our future leadership. I see them both as important. And so for me, I feel like this is a worthy use of their time. I hope that we can make this policy better, because I want this policy to be more effective and efficient, not just get ideas that are effective and efficient for the county, but also how can we make this program the most effective and efficient.
So outside of the workshop, there's some other things that you would like to see happen with this?
Yes, I want the time frame to where people can add their submission to open up December 1st instead of January 1st. That way people have a little bit more time to get their ideas in. And then I'd like to shorten the amount of time that the staff has to respond, because some of the feedback I got from staff was that it sits on their desk for too long. And so it's kind of like that lingering thing, whereas if we shorten up the time just a little bit, it still gives them plenty of time to get what they need done, but it gets it off their desk faster.
So can you put this on consent agenda?
I could.
If you put it on consent agenda, then it'll just be rubber stamped. You don't have to worry about it, right?
I wouldn't want to test that theory, especially because personally, I don't love the idea of a consent agenda. I think that I think that we should have full transparency. Everything should be announced to the public of what we're doing, not just voted through in one swipe, and you have 20, 30 items, approved, and you don't even know what you.
But I'm sure the public wouldn't have a problem with this. It's the county commissioners that probably they're used to just rubber stamping consent agenda, right? So the next thing is that you have this issue coming up with Wayne Twitty, who is in Breck, is going to make a presentation to the county commissioners trying to get their support of the PAC to PAC transfers.
Yes.
Which is a big problem in politics, right?
So there's a group of citizens who are trying to, I hate to use the word lobby, but the good way to lobby, they're trying to lobby the state legislature to tighten up the campaign finance laws. And so what they're asking for is that they don't want unlimited PAC to PAC transfers, because when you can transfer from PAC to PAC, so what happens is Sally donates $50 to, let's say, the Billy Bob Friends PAC. The Billy Bob Friends PAC then donates $100,000 to Faith and Family. And then Faith and Family puts out a slate card of all these candidates, that they are supporting. And maybe Sally doesn't support those candidates. So there's no way to track that money once it goes from PAC to PAC to PAC. Was Sally's $50 part of that $100,000 that got sent, or wasn't it? So this is about transparency. This is about making sure that the voters know exactly who is funding candidates and who the candidates are beholden to.
So this has become kind of a shell game,
Right.
right? Find out who's supporting who.
Right.
And they're trying to keep the shell game moving so that you can't really know
Absolutely.
where the money is coming from.
Right. And since, this isn't really under the guise of the county commission, we don't have any power over this. This is a state legislature item. What they're looking for is they would like some support from their local officials to say, we stand behind this as well, to hopefully get support in Tallahassee.
But getting this kind of support from the politicians, isn't it like asking the raccoons to ration how many chickens they're taking out of the chicken
Well, it all
coop?
depends on who you're beholden to. Are you beholden to the people, or are you beholden to PAC money?
Yeah.
Personally, I didn't accept any of that type of money. So, for me, it's an easy, thing to support, because the money that I got in my campaign was from the people and people who supported me. And so I believe that the only way we take back our country is we have to get involved in local. If everybody took hold of their local offices, then, we'd see a much different
Well, this country would change overnight.
Right.
I mean, if everyone was engaged in their local government, it wouldn't take long at all, right?
And if we had truly fair elections, I mean, if we didn't have all this PAC money funding particular candidates, we would actually have more grassroots candidates get elected because they would have a fair shake.
But isn't it, the PAC money is actually focusing on uninformed voters, though.
Right.
If the citizens were more engaged, even the PAC money wouldn't have the effect that it's having, right?
Exactly.
And I noticed that in that last election, you could see that they were really going after the uninformed voter.
Right. And the hard part is that it's really a high bar to set, to expect residents to follow every single government meeting. I mean,
Sure.
To watch every My Florida Channel day for the state legislature, and then every county commission meeting, every city council meeting, every school board meeting, to know how these people vote. I mean, what we really need is our news agencies to get more vocal, get more involved, and actually give the news to the people of what the government officials are doing.
Yeah, we like a report card.
That would be
Great. So we're going to start that on BrevardNEWS hopefully at some point in time. So the county manager's contract.
Yes.
This just keeps getting more and more bizarre. So first of all, the guy never puts in an application.
Right.
Am I wrong?
No.
They suspend the search, which had 60 candidates.
66 candidates.
66 candidates.
Yeah.
Oh, I stand to be corrected. 66 candidates.
Yeah.
They just rubber stamp him in as the county manager, and now they want to give him a $100,000 raise? This is a joke, right?
So I am careful to not call it a raise, because his salary right now is $197 and 198.
You can't
I know.
live on $197. Oh.
So, but that's for the assistant county manager role. He is going into a new role as the county manager. I'm not saying that a workman isn't worthy of his wage, but what I am saying is that our last county manager was making this amount with 8 years experience. Our current county manager has 6 months experience in this role. Prior to being in this role, he was only over 6 departments. And it was things like housing and human services, libraries, parks, UF extension, transportation, and that's not transportation meaning the bus system. It troubles me that he does not have a lot of experience over things like public works, the planning department, the budget department, natural resources, these budgets, public safety, these departments that have massive amounts of employees and massive amounts of money. And so it troubles me that somebody with 6 months experience is going to be paid the exact same amount as somebody with 8 years experience, and then 2 weeks later getting an $11,000 raise.
You're kidding, right?
No.
Nowhere but Brevard County can this be done. This is crazy.
Yeah, so he would be, if this contract goes through, he would be making $286,000 and then 2 weeks later getting an almost $12,000 raise. So that would amount to about a $100,000 bump
So who
to his
suggested
current
this?
salary.
Where did this come from?
So this came from our chair, Rob Feltner, and
He made the suggestion.
and our county attorney. They were on the committee that dealt with his contract. And
They negotiated this contract.
I had sent in some questions about what was going on with this because I figured, they'd ask us for our feedback and no one had talked to me. So I was like, what's going on with the contract, so on and so forth. And I said, I have some input. I would like him to have yearly evaluations. I would like him to have a fixed term contract of 2 years so that every 2 years we would decide if we want him to continue. I was not going to suggest that type of a raise or that type of a promotion rate for his salary. Not that he couldn't eventually work up to, because honestly, that salary is not abnormal to what the job entails, but a lot of times those people have a lot more experience than what he has. And just because he's worked in our county for 30 years, like I said, he does not have the experience over these other departments. We have 22 departments, and he has experience over 6. So it's not that I don't think he's a nice guy. It's not that I don't think that he did a great job in his role where he was, but giving him the same salary as somebody who had 8 years experience in this role is not right, in my opinion.
Now, Paige did a survey, and the results weren't positive. A lot of people were unhappy with it.
Right. I think that, so I did a post with this information just so that people could know what was in the contract, and I believe it hit around 31,000 views. Mostly negative comments and feedback I've gotten back. So the people are really upset, and I don't blame them. I'm upset.
Are they living in some kind of a bizarro world where they don't understand what people are going through?
Honestly, I cannot speak for them because I just have no idea.
How do you arrive at this?
I mean, he's going to be making almost what the President of the United States makes. Like, this is just completely outrageous how bloviated county management salaries have gotten.
So it's going to take, are you going to get a chance to vote on this?
Yes, we
So
vote
all the
on it.
county managers will get a chance to vote on it. So everyone's going to be
All the county
on the record,
commissioners,
all the
right.
county commissioners are going to be able to have a vote in this. And they'll
Yes.
be on the record as to whether they agree with this kind of a
Yes.
salary.
And that's on Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock, the 16th. If anybody wants to come to this meeting or if you have any feelings about this, I would definitely email all 5 commissioners because, if you just email me, I already agree with you. So you need to really, all 5 commissioners, email them, give them phone calls to their offices, and come to the meeting if you can.
Now, there was a budget meeting, speaking of money, this past Wednesday.
Yes.
And how did that go?
Not great. Because honestly, I have a lot of concerns with how the money is dealt with in this county. For instance, there's these commercial stoves that get put into the park buildings. $20,000. When I went and looked, and I know this is a government contract, so it's like things are different, but when I went out and looked for the same exact stove, I was finding them around $8,400.
Oh, maybe I can go into the stove business and get some contracts with the county.
Correct.
Sounds like a pretty good deal.
So this stove was budgeted for next year's budget for a particular park. That stove has been in place for 2 months. So why is it on next year's budget? And there are many, many things that are like that. And so for me, it's frustrating because there's nothing is clear about the budget. And unless you have the access that I have, you don't get to know this stuff.
Do you think that it's being padded?
I don't know if padded is the right word. It just, like I said, it's not clear. And I think that when things are not clear, especially when you're dealing with other people's money, there's a problem, and we should not be doing business like
Let's
that.
go back to the complaint you've been making about the procurement
Right.
process, right? I mean, it's the same issue, right?
Right.
So how can we fix this?
Honestly, I would love for Doge to come in. At this point, I am so frustrated at this point because
How can we get Doge in?
we could call the state legislature.
Can we have
We
the
could call
audience?
them.
People
Yeah.
call Doge? Do we have a number? I mean,
Yeah.
this is unbelievable, right?
And I know that it's very disruptive to a county, but honestly, things I feel like need to be shaken up because what's happening right now, we are not being clear and transparent with the community, and I don't think that that's right. This is their money, and they should know exactly where it is, how it's being spent, and what happens is that when we get to the mid-year, so 6 months from now, when no one's paying attention to budgets because they figure, oh, budget season is over, the county comes back with a mid-year supplement. And that's all the money that wasn't spent how the budget book says that it was spent. And then they shift it all around and do this project, that project, and it's much more low-lighted. And like I said, I'm not saying any of this is illegal. I'm not saying any of this is against the rules. What I'm saying is that it's not right. We need to be transparent with these tax dollars.
So the budget as it stands, is it going to go through?
So it did pass tentatively 4-1. I voted no for the reasons that I just stated. One of the things that I will be supporting is the fire MSTU. That's going to raise to the voter approved limit if it gets approved at the next budget hearing. And the reason why I'm going to approve that is because while we did, make a shift with the firefighter budget, we all knew that that wasn't going to be enough. It got them their salaries, but what it didn't get us was the extra that we need for more firefighters to get us those Kelly days, which is the work-life balance piece that we need to really be a competitive recruitment department.
So that's going to stop the bleeding, right? To have those Kelly days.
Right.
You're going to have actually more people wanting to come to Brevard County.
Right now, the pay raise, that stopped the bleed. That was, for any military people out there, it was a quick clot. Mm-hmm. We put the quick clot in there. Mm-hmm. And that just kept our people from fleeing. But now, if we want to recruit, we really need those Kelly days. And so getting that MSTU to the voter approved limit will give us the money that we need for that.
Okay. So this coming Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock
yes.
is the county commission meeting.
Yes. So the budget hearing won't be until the following week.
We ended on that note. Hopefully you enjoyed this segment of the Commish Report. Thank you, Katie. Thank you for joining us on the Commish Report for this week, and we will see you next week.